Is self-diagnosing harmful? Of course it is, because you will reinforce stigma, one, but two, you do not want to self-diagnose because you may think you have a certain condition, but actually you don't have a condition at all, or you might think you have depression, but you actually have something else, or you might have a combination of various things. So what is important is if you have done an assessment, which could be a DAS test, depression, anxiety, stress scale test, which is not a clinical assessment, but it's good to do because then you will be able to gauge, your mental health state during the time. And if your results comes out as severe or extremely severe, then you can proceed to a clinical assessment. If your results aren't severe, but you have, some sort of struggles, maybe it's, moderate, then you know that you have to do something about it. So it could be learning more effective coping mechanisms. It could be work-life balance, which can prevent you from getting a mental health disorder. Garner or seek attention is because people surrounding the person isn't validating what they're going through or isn't giving them the support that they need. So it could possibly be a cry for help. If you guys see your friends, coming out on social media, saying a lot of things, please reach out to the person privately and provide a lending ear coming from a place of empathy and compassion. Especially now, being in the pandemic of COVID-19, everyone is struggling with something, especially mental health struggles. So it could be emotional support, it could be psychosocial support that a person needs. One of the best ways to really tackle stigma and discrimination is what we call as contact-based education. So try as much as possible to interact with people with mental health condition, with people that have mental illness, because when you do this, then you will get insights, because only through insights it will translate into understanding, better treatment and support, and it will enable us to reduce stigma, right? So have that interaction, especially if you have a stigma in you, right? If we do have stigma and we're aware of it, what is important is for us to do something about it. If so, do seek knowledge, because that will be able to change that perception that you have. I think the greater challenge would be, now that you have that change in perception, how do you translate it to change in behavior? I think what is most important is for you to listen, and listen to understand. Listen for emotions, not listen to judge. Do not be quick to judge, especially when we lack the knowledge of mental health. Validate what the person is going through, and it could be as simple as saying something like, what you are going through right now, what you are experiencing right now is valid. That in itself will reduce a lot of the person's self-blaming or guilt or anxiousness, feeling of despair. That will reduce it a lot when the person feels validated. So that can be very, very powerful. You do not have to be there 24/7 in order to help a person, but just by saying, I'm here if you need help, is very powerful in itself. Okay? And of course, people with the condition do not expect you to be there 24/7 as well. And what is important is lend a listening ear and do not be quick to judge. I think that in itself can save a life. Please do not practice toxic positivity. Do not say things like, think positive, or focus on things that that you have in hand. Try to snap out of it. Do not say things like this, because if the person can think positive during the time, they would have already thought positive, but because they're not able to at the current moment, right? Try to picture yourself being in a situation in crisis. You wouldn't want someone to say that to you as well, right? Try as much as possible to encourage the person to share and to tell you more of what they're going through. At your friend that previously was very cheerful, for example, very talkative ke, very joyful person, happy-go-lucky, tiba-tiba nampak macam pulling themselves from society, maknanya not talking so much with you guys, not really want to join in, and then tiba-tiba one day feeling very happy, nampak very calm. Because usually when that happens is because they've already decided that they want to end their life. So now they know that the pain is going to end really soon. So usually this happens a couple of days before that they end their lives, when the suicide happens. It could also be, you will see signs such as will be giving away their possessions. So giving away their things, arranging barang-barang, and it can also reflect in the things that they say. Dia orang akan cakap nanti bila aku dah tak ada, things like that. So take all that seriously, because all these things are really bigger signs to show that they decided to end their lives. And one of the bigger risk factors is, of course, history of suicide in their family, or they have attempted suicide before. So these two things are big warning signs for any person. First thing, do not panic. Two, you must be very careful in the next thing you say. Okay, not to scare you off, but if you are in the position of helping another person, be mindful. So the next thing that you should be saying to the person, can you tell me more? This is very important. Encourage the person to share what is burdening him or her during the time, because when it eases, when they're able to unleash whatever that they're feeling at the current moment, it can really help to reduce that feeling of suicidality